Did you strain your hamstring? Did you hear a pop and now have some bruising in your hamstring? So today we're gonna go over what you need to be doing after you strain your hamstring. So stay tuned, guys. What's good, Hoopers? My name is Dr. Marco Lopez, Doctor of Physical Therapy and Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. Also co-founder of the Basketball Doctors, alongside with Dr. Gabe Ignacio. Our goal here with the Basketball Doctors is to empower the basketball community with evidence-based information regarding rehab, performance, and all things basketball. Please help us grow our YouTube channel by subscribing it, liking, commenting, and sharing it with friends and family that might benefit from this. All information here is just for educational purposes, not medical advice. If you need medical advice, seek out healthcare professionals just like ourselves, or go to your doctor's office. So, on to our topic today, early considerations for hamstring strains. So you strained your hamstring. So if you want to learn a little bit more about hamstring strains, check out our video above. It's all about hamstring strains, the mechanisms of injuries, and all things like that. But the most important thing we tell people, after you strain your hamstring, you have to do rehab. The reason because of that is that studies have shown that usually people strain their hamstring again 33% of the time within the first week coming back to sports. And that's because they don't do the proper rehab. And we have to do the proper rehab to prevent any further hamstring strains. So the biggest two things that we have to be working on is one, protecting the muscle/tendon. Two, managing pain and inflammation in the early phases. And we're gonna kind of go into more of those two details. So the first step, protecting the muscle and tendon. One of the things that we always get asked, I pulled my hamstring and I'm stretching it. That's one thing you can't be doing. Because when you stretch the hamstring, you're actually making it worse. Because usually, as we mentioned in the other video, you can learn more about it, is when you strain your hamstring, it's either an overstretching problem or an overloading problem. So you wanna protect the muscle by not going into that stretching phase. So we're not stretching it. We actually kind of want some scar tissue to build in order to protect that muscle integrity, or else you'll be overstretching it. And the other thing is, by protecting the muscle, is we have to change up the way you walk. Meaning, normally when you walk, you take a big step, but when you take a big step, you're actually straining the hamstring. So every time you take that big step, that straining is gonna lead to further damage and take a longer time to recovery. So we have to shorten your stride length, meaning you're not gonna take a big stride, small stride, you could even use a crutch. And the whole point is to decrease that tension in that hamstring. And another one too is obviously is not doing too much with that hamstring. You don't wanna be constantly using the hamstring too much, because it's in that stage where whenever there's a strain, you're actually tearing part of those muscle fibers, and you don't wanna overdo it and exert it. So that's the first step. Protecting the muscle and tendon integrity by not overstretching it. Step two, we're gonna be really working on managing the pain and inflammation. So one of the biggest things is we use ice. A lot of people have different opinions on ice. We like to use ice because it helps decrease the pain. And we have to decrease the pain, especially right after that hamstring injury. You're gonna have some bruising, have some pain, so you gotta decrease the pain there. Another thing that we like to do is some compression. Compression helps circulate the lymphatic system and decrease some of that swelling. Another thing that we like to do is just more movement. Get you moving, get you using a stationary bike. That stationary bike is gonna be able to get the hamstring moving pain-free in those phases and really help circulating the blood flow and decreasing that tension on the hamstring. And just overall movement. As long as you keep the body moving, that's really gonna help with the hamstring and expedite the recovery. But that's kind of the biggest things that we have to work on in these two phases. Now that we talked about the two main steps that we have to really consider when we're doing hamstring strain in the early phase. So just to recap, the first one is protecting the muscle/tendon integrity by avoiding overstretching. Two is managing the pain and inflammation. Now that we got these two concepts down, that doesn't mean you're completely resting. We're gonna do some exercises. So we're gonna go over the exercises that we recommend doing in that early phase, that we get some muscles activating going from there. And then stay tuned towards the end, because towards the end, we're gonna give you some progressions on where to advance to the second stage. Because if you're not ready to go to the second stage and you push it, that's where reoccurrence of hamstring strains occur. All right, so stay tuned, guys. All right, so for the first exercise, we're gonna go into a plank.
So to make sure we do this correctly, we're gonna start off with our forearms with our knees down on the ground and our toes. From there, we're gonna really make sure our spine is extended, especially our thoracic spine, and then our lower back neutral. So here, and you can see in Gabe, he has his spine neutral. Right here, he tucks his butt in, but if you can see, he sometimes sags it, but we have to correct that. We get to make sure the spine is neutral. He's activating his butt muscles. He's pushing up with his shoulder blades to really keep that back flat and really in control. All right, so for the next exercise, we're gonna go into the side plank. So here you're gonna start off with your forearm, butt down on the ground, and your heels. Then you're gonna lift up. When you lift up, you wanna keep your entire body neutral and straight. You see how Gabe's kind of recorrecting himself. He has to, my biggest coaching cue is bring those hips up to the sky. That way you're not sagging down and you're really activating those muscles that we wanna activate. And the muscles we're activating, as Gabe's pointing out, you're gonna feel that on your right side obliques. You're also gonna feel that on your glute muscles. And the whole point is you're trying to resist that lateral tilt and dropping down. All right, for the next exercise is our glute bridge with TheraBand. So here we're gonna place the TheraBand above your knees, and from there you're gonna push down on your heels, tuck your butt in. You're gonna really feel those glutes activating as you lift up your belly button towards the sky. And the whole point here is activating the glutes without using too much of your back. So it's a great exercise to activate the glutes while minimizing stress to the hamstring muscles.
All right, guys, now that you guys learned some of the exercises that we like to do in the early stage, now progression to the next stage. Everyone asks us like, hey, how do I progress? So once we've done those exercises and we follow the 2 key principles, protecting the muscle tendon integrity to managing the pain inflammation, in order to progress to the middle stage, we have to make sure that we're able to walk with the normal stride, meaning normal reach. You know, in the beginning we talked about decreasing your stride length. We have to walk with the normal stride, pain-free. Once we get to that pain-free, that's the first step. The second step that we make sure in order to progress to the middle stage is we have to be able to activate our hamstring at around 75%. So contracting that hamstring without any pain. If we get that, then we're ready for the next stage. So if you guys have any questions, send us a DM, drop a comment below, and we'll answer those. And if you guys really like this video, please share this, subscribe with all your friends. And if you didn't like this video, hit the dislike button and tell us how we can make it a better video. And our goal is to help you guys learn more about different injuries regarding basketball and improve the basketball experience for life.